All right, I have a story to tell. That's something that happened this summer. Um, this summer I was working at a camp, working teaching kids outdoorsy kind of stuff, taking them on hikes and stuff uh, around Mount Hood in Oregon. Um, and we have a lot of wildlife out there. We have some bears, some small little brown bears, mostly harmless. Mountain lions, deer, lots of deer. And I've been working there for a good bit there, and I was I had a tent that I slept in during the night. And anyways, okay, let me describe the place. We have a road coming up, and to one side is kind of like our area, and then we have the parking lot on the other side, and then a forest, and up it goes into a big ridge up. And anyways, I had gone to my car at night many times, and there's heard stuff in the little forest, noises. It freaks me out all the time in that little forest there. Deer. I heard deer. That's what people were like, oh, there's lots of deer there, and I was like, okay. And I had seen the deer trails everywhere there, but there's trails everywhere made by animals, so it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell for there's not a ton of mud in that area. Can't find fresh tracks super easily. Um, but one night I went to bed in my tent, was on my phone for a little bit watching some videos. I went to bed a little later than I'd like, 11:20ish, let's say. And then I went to bed. Like, let's say I went to bed at 11:20. And then get woken up at 11:50ish, around there. I know the exact time I heard things was 11:54, but I'm not sure when I woke up. But it was the most terrifying noise I've ever heard in my life. It sounded like somebody was getting dragged away, getting stabbed repeatedly with knives. That screaming as loud as you can. That's what I heard. Freaked me out, and I knew that was a mountain lion because I had heard in books that I've read that mountain lions sound like a woman screaming, and to what I heard, it did not sound like a woman screaming. It sounded like somebody, doesn't matter who, getting dragged to their death and getting stabbed multiple times, or just getting ripped away and just screaming as loud as they could. Freaked me out, and I'm in my sleeping bag, like, oh crap, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. First thing that comes to my mind is one of my kids is in trouble. And then because they are my tent's here, and then a little bit further down the hill that on our side, there's they have like a big little tents and stuff. And I thought, well, maybe the kids went to the bathroom or like walked to the porta potties in the middle of the night, and then something happened to them. But I was like, well, then maybe the other kids would have. And then because I'm thinking this during a pause because I hear the whole bunch of screaming, terrifying, and then there's a little pause. So this is what I'm thinking during that pause is one of my kids is in trouble. I should get out of my sleeping bag and go help him. And then I hear it again. And then my thought process is, nope, I'm not technically working now. My shift ended at 10. I'm going to stay in my tent and I'm just going to not move, not move. Just try to control my breathing. And if anything comes for me, I'm going to be as silent as possible. And if I just don't move, don't make any noise, hopefully whatever that made that mountain lion that made the noise won't come for me. And so I was terrified. And I know it was 11:54 because that scared me so bad. I pulled out my phone. I was like, oh, I have like been asleep for like 20 minutes, and the thing woke me up. Absolutely terrifying. So the next morning, I talked to some people, and nobody heard it. None of the staff heard it. They lived it. Some of them didn't go sleep in tents. Some of them slept in like a big area altogether. So a couple that slept in tents. I asked them. They didn't hear. They were out cold. I stayed up a little later than everybody else, watching stuff on my phone. I asked some of my kids, and my kids were like, maybe you kind of woke up, and I didn't really hear anything though, you know. And so I was the only one that heard it. So I had a little time to kill in the morning because my shift hadn't started yet. So I hiked up that ridge to go see if I could see anything. Didn't see anything at all. And I didn't go too far up the ridge. I was a little short in time. Hiked up a little bit and then came down, and I was like, that was terrifying. Now fast forward a couple weeks, I think maybe 2 weeks. Where I have a group of kids that are very active, and I'm like, you know what I've always wanted to do? I'm telling my boss this. I've wanted to hike up that ridge where I heard the mountain lion and see what's up there. And he's like, that's a great idea because there's tons of blackberries and it's kind of there's like a sandy patch up top, and you can see tracks everywhere. Because I hadn't been able to find those cougar prints or mountain lion prints, whatever cat it was. I hadn't been able to find those prints when I hiked up, and I was like, great. So this week we start hiking up that trail. We start hiking up. We kind of make our own trail. We make our own trail actually at the top because we have to get through like a thing of blackberries to get to the top of the ridge. We kind of cut our own little path. We get up there. We spend 15, 20 minutes eating some blackberries, just chilling. The kids are tired. Drink water. It's hot. And then I take a group of kids down. As we're coming down, right in the middle of where we had cut, so it was a fresh trail. Right in the middle where we cut, a big pile of bear poop. So this had to have happened 15 to 20 minutes ago. And it was fresh. You could tell it was fresh, full of seeds. Because the black bear, or not black, because we don't have black bears there. We had brown bears, and they would eat all the blackberries there. So somehow we barely missed running into brown bear pooping on our trail right there. I was like, that was pretty cool. And also right before that, somebody had found a big antlers, which I was very jealous of. Anyways, we're coming down, and just a little bit later we had seen that, and I was like, okay, instead of following the trail we made, let's just go straight down. It's faster. Kids are tired. Let's just go straight down and follow animal trails. As we're doing that, immediately, right after finding the bear poop, immediately after that, found another thing of bear poop, not fresh, so maybe a day or two old. And then, a little bit later, underneath a tree, we have this big tree, and then, the leaves kind of spread out around, or like the branches, and so it's like a kind of clearing underneath. Just surrounding that tree, big piles of cougar poop. Just piles of mountain lion, cougar poop, whatever cat, piles of it everywhere. And that kind of reaffirmed, oh, I did hear a mountain lion, and it was up here. I can see either a big group of them or one that had a ton of meals is like pooping right here. And then I go a little bit further down, and then I find just this couple like solid. As we were going down the trail, because we're just following just animal trails, we're finding more cougar poop. Maybe 2 or 3 more little things. Not like that tree. That tree was surrounded by it so much. And none of it was fresh. I wouldn't expect it to be fresh. This was during the day, a little bit after lunchtime, I believe, a little bit after noon. But kind of terrifying that noise. I just want to share that noise. One of those or not one, the most terrifying noise I've ever heard, and the fact that I almost it could have been like 5 minutes, we missed a brown bear. Thought that was pretty interesting.